Another amazing day. We started at the Mediterranean, Caesarea, and visited then a botanical garden, and then on our way to Israel.
In the Bible, two. Herod Agrippa the first, Herod Agrippa the second. So Herod Agrippa the first died right here, and that's what I would like to read. You probably remember this is an interesting episode right here, right where I am, right here. No, there. And I'll explain this to you. Just one moment.
Why are you reading?
Acts chapter 12, verse 20.
Well, give me a chance.
I think.
Just together. Acts 12. All right, with Acts 12. It says 19, verse 19. It's the Herod who was looking for Peter when Peter escaped the prison. He put Peter in prison. All right, and remember, Peter miraculously escaped from the prison. And then after Herod had a thorough search made for him and did not find him, he cross-examined the guards and ordered them to be killed. That's the nice Herod guy that we are going to talk about. Notice it says Herod, but there were many Herods, so we need to know which one is that. And that was Herod Agrippa, number one. Easy to remember. Number one. There were only two. Number one. Okay. And then he went from Judea because he put Peter in prison in Jerusalem, right? He left Jerusalem and went to Caesarea and stayed there. And we will see the palace of Herod. It's quite interesting over there. He had been quarreling with the people of Tyre and Sidon. Now, we know now where are Tyre and Sidon? In Lebanon, right? Further north, in Lebanon.
Yes.
What are they famous for, Tyre and Sidon? Ports. They're ports. And Caesarea was a port. So there was a business negotiations or whatever, competition. Like Robert De Niro said, nothing personal, just business.
Right.
So business. They had some business disagreements. Okay, on the appointed, this is interesting, on the appointed day, Herod, and we can say, because we know, Herod Agrippa the first, wearing his royal robe, sat on his throne, and delivered a public address to the people. Where can you do that in a city?
Here.
There's only one place. There's only one place that you can make a public appearance. So lots of people, a few thousand of people will actually can hear you. Obviously today, what do you do today? You type on your computer and you click on the internet and everything. But that was, remember BC? Before computers, BC. So that's kind of an old time. No, because this is actually 80, it's the first century. This the only place in this town where you can make a public speech, public announcement, the people will know what's going on, would be here. Okay. And so you can imagine that, and this is very cool, that the throne was on the stage, and it says on the appointed day, wearing a royal robe, he sat on his throne and delivered a public. And that happened in the morning. Notice how the sun goes in the morning, right? It goes right on the stage.
Yeah.
Okay, shines the stage, and the guy, you can imagine in his royal appearance.
Which
right?
had, as I understand it, silver threads in it.
With the silver jewelry, whatever threads, decorative elements he had, and that would shine, right? That would shine. People are sitting here, and then some people shouted, "This is the voice of a God, not of a man." This is the voice of a God, not of a man. Why would Herod do that? Why would he be stupid enough? Maybe not stupid, but why would he dare to do that? Well, he would imitate pretty much the Romans, because for the Romans, Caesars are what? Gods now. They're deified now. They're gods now. Why would they do that? They would do that in order to demand loyalty. Loyalty. If you're loyal, then you worship the Caesar, the king. And I was born in Russia, and they had this place on the Red Square where they mummified the first communist leader, Lenin. And you were supposed, as a kid, to go there and worship. A mummy. It's a mummy there.
It's not wrapped. You can see it.
You can see him. Yeah, you can see the face.
Atheistic regime
And
wants you to worship Lenin.
And he's still there. Still there. You know, still in mausoleum there. Still can go. You're probably not demanded to do that, by force, but still there on display. Okay, what happened next? Immediately, because Herod did not give praise to God, an angel of the Lord struck him down, and he was eaten by worms and died. How about that? Right? In other words, it happened right there when he delivered this public address, declaring himself. What was the message? That I am God now. So you guys, if you want to be loyal to me, if you want to be a loyal subject, so you have to worship me as God, just like you worship the Caesar as God, and we will see on our way. That was the palace that was built by Herod the Great, and his subsequent family used this palace. Right? And so in other words, all these Herods were here.
Okay.
If you're interested. All of them. Okay. And what else is interesting, most likely, whole trial that Pastor Steve mentioned by Agrippa II and Bernice took place in this reception hall. This first area is the reception hall of the palace. Most likely, that's where Paul was tried by Agrippa and Bernice and the Roman governors. Remember first Felix and then Festus. Okay. Also, behind the column, you will see the inscription that mentions Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate. Because Pontius Pilate lived here when he served as the governor, as the procurator. He lived here. Where did he live? If you look straight forward, can you see the gray column? One column there? See that? That's where the palace of the governors was. Pontius Pilate, Felix, Festus, all these folks lived. That was their official residency. So they lived there. Okay. What you are sitting at, what you are looking at, is the sports arena. And that goes back to the 1st century BC. It was built by Herod the Great. What would you do here at the sport arena? You would be probably spectators. Here are the seats. And the people on the arena will do athletics. Can I use this Greek word? Athletics. Horse racing, chariot racing, and gladiator fighting. As a matter of fact, you are sitting at the toilet of that site.
Nice.
Do you feel comfortable?
Lovely.
That's how it's
Were
supposed to be.
women allowed? Were women allowed?
No, wait a minute. With the toilet, it's coming.
No.
So that's the sport arena. Somewhere here downtown was the garrison for the Roman soldiers. And we mentioned Cornelius, who was the head of the garrison, who was the centurion. Unfortunately, the house or the place where he lived was not found, as well as the prison where Paul was kept. That was not found. If you find something that has the name Cornelius on it, can you show it to me?
Sure.
And we will be famous. But before you do that, flip it over, look on the back side, make sure it doesn't say made in China.
Yeah.
And then we have a chance. Somewhere. We don't know exactly where. And then further, can you see the minaret? Do you know what minaret is? The Muslim tower. So the Muslim tower, across from the Muslim tower, was the pagan temple that you've seen in the movie to Caesar. That was deified and became a god. And that's where the harbor is. And this
Can't imagine chariot races here. Wow. Apparently this is the bathhouse. Caesarea. Water, fresh water.
Our last stop was the largest biblical botanical garden in the world. It's halfway between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. We were able to see life as it would have been lived by our ancestors about 3,000 years ago. And Pastor Steve read to us out of Deuteronomy, where it talks about the 7 types of food that were grown: barley, wheat, grapes, figs, pomegranates, olives, and honey. And then in chapter 11 of Deuteronomy, God talks about the land flowing with milk and honey. And he says that the land which they were going to enter and possess is a land of hills and valleys, which drinks water of the rain and of the heavens, and the land for which the Lord your God cares. The eyes of the Lord your God will always be upon it from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Verse 13, and if you will diligently heed my commandments, which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all of your mind and heart and with your entire being, I will give you the rain for your land in the season, and in the early rain and the latter rain, and that you may gather in your grain and your new wine and your oil. And I will give you grass in the fields for your cattle, and they will be eat and they will be full. What an amazing place this was. And when we were done with our visit, we headed off to Jerusalem.